The police dog suddenly froze, his ears pricked, his body tense. In front of him stood nothing more than an old oak tree. But when he began barking wildly at a strange knot in the trunk, his handler realized this wasn't ordinary. What the officer uncovered moments later shocked everyone watching. Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. It was a quiet afternoon in the small town, the kind of day where even the breeze seemed unhurried. The park stretched wide, dotted with tall, ancient trees that had stood for generations. Patrolling the area that day was Officer Daniel, a man known for his steady nerves and sharp instincts. But he wasn't alone. Beside him trotted Rex, his loyal K9 partner, a German shepherd with a coat of gold and black, eyes alert, and a nose that had never failed him. To Daniel, Rex was more than a partner, he was family. And though the afternoon seemed ordinary, neither of them knew something extraordinary was waiting ahead. As Daniel and Rex walked their usual patrol route, the German shepherd suddenly stiffened. His ears shot up, his body locked in place. Daniel felt the tug on the leash and glanced down, instantly recognizing that posture. Something had caught Rex's attention. The dog's nose twitched, pulling in the air in quick, sharp breaths. Then, without warning, Rex bolted a few steps forward, dragging Daniel toward a towering oak tree at the edge of the path. It wasn't just any tree. It was old, with a thick trunk scarred by time and weather. Rex circled the tree once, twice, and then planted himself in front of it, barking furiously. His paws scratched at the bark as if he were desperate to dig something out. Daniel frowned. Rex had alerted many times before, but never at a tree. Nearby walkers slowed, curiosity drawing them closer. A few exchanged puzzled glances, whispering among themselves. What was the dog seeing or sensing that they couldn't? Daniel knelt, trying to calm him, but Rex refused to budge. His barks grew louder, more insistent, each one echoing through the park. The knot in the trunk suddenly seemed less ordinary. Something about it demanded attention. Daniel stepped closer to the oak, his eyes narrowing at the rough patch of bark where Rex was clawing. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than a knot, the kind every old tree carried. But the longer he stared, the stranger it seemed. The knot was darker, almost unnatural, and shaped like a sealed opening. Rex growled low, pressing his nose tight against it, then jerked back, barking again. His tail was rigid, his whole body tense with urgency. Daniel's pulse quickened. He had trusted Rex for years. If the dog said something was wrong, something was wrong. By now, several people had gathered nearby. A woman whispered, "Is it an animal?" Another man muttered, "Maybe someone hid something inside." The crowd leaned forward, their curiosity growing with every bark. Daniel placed his hand on the knot. The bark felt rough, but beneath it, there was a faint hollow echo, as if the trunk was hiding a secret. His stomach tightened. What could be inside? Rex barked louder, circling the tree, refusing to let his handler step away. The ordinary oak no longer felt ordinary at all. It felt like a mystery waiting to be uncovered. Daniel drew in a slow breath, steadying his nerves. He had opened hidden compartments before, but never inside a tree. He crouched low, running his fingers along the knot, pressing lightly. The bark shifted under his touch, almost as if it weren't part of the trunk at all. Rex barked sharply, startling some of the onlookers. Daniel shot him a quick glance. "Easy boy," he muttered, though his own heart was racing. Whatever lay inside, Rex wanted it found now. Using the edge of his pocket knife, Daniel began prying at the knot. The wood resisted at first, creaking faintly, but then gave way with a brittle snap. The sound silenced the crowd, all eyes fixed on the officer and his dog. Sweat prickled Daniel's forehead as he widened the opening. The hollow grew darker, deeper, like a tunnel leading inside the tree. He hesitated, his hand trembling just inches away. Rex whined impatiently, pawing at the bark, urging him forward. The German Shepherd's intensity only heightened Daniel's unease. Finally, he reached in, his fingers brushing against something unexpected. Something not wood, not bark, but cold and foreign. His breath caught. Whatever it wasn't supposed to be there. Daniel's hand froze as his fingers brushed against the hidden object. It was smooth, cold, and oddly shaped. The crowd leaned in, their breaths caught in unison. With a firm tug, Daniel pulled, and from the hollow came a small, weathered box, covered in dirt and moss. Gasps rippled through the onlookers. The box looked ancient, its hinges rusted, its wood nearly crumbling. But what stunned Daniel most was Rex. He had stopped barking. The dog sat back on his haunches, tail still, eyes locked on the box as if waiting for it to be opened. Daniel knelt carefully, setting it on the ground. He hesitated only a moment before prying the lid open. The creak was sharp, echoing in the silence. Inside, wrapped in yellowed cloth, lay a bundle of letters, and beneath them, a small silver locket, tarnished but intact. A murmur spread through the crowd. One woman gasped louder than the rest, her hand flying to her mouth. "I know that locket," she whispered. "It belonged to a girl who disappeared decades ago." Daniel's chest tightened. The letters were brittle, their ink faded, but names were still visible, signatures of a young woman whose story had haunted the town for years. He looked from the box to Rex, then back at the stunned faces around him. The knot in the tree wasn't just hiding objects. It was hiding a piece of forgotten history, a mystery that had waited decades for someone to uncover it. For a long moment, no one spoke. The crowd stood frozen, staring at the fragile letters and the locket glinting faintly in the sunlight. It was as if the entire park had been pulled backward in time, forced to remember a chapter the town had tried to forget. An elderly man shuffled forward, his voice trembling. "I was just a boy when she vanished," he murmured. "They searched everywhere. No one ever found a trace." His eyes filled with tears as he gazed at the box. And all along it was here. Daniel's throat tightened. He could feel the weight of history pressing down on his shoulders. What began as a routine patrol had turned into the unraveling of an old mystery. Beside him, Rex sat calmly, his ears perked, as though satisfied his job was done. The woman who had recognized the locket reached out, brushing her fingers against the box. This could finally give her family peace," she whispered. Daniel nodded, his jaw set. The discovery wasn't just about solving a mystery. It was about closure, healing, and the reminder that sometimes the truth finds its way back, no matter how long it's been buried. As the crowd slowly dispersed, Daniel carefully closed the weathered box, holding it against his chest. He knew it would soon be placed in the hands of investigators, but more importantly, in the hearts of those who had waited decades for answers. He glanced down at Rex, who was sitting proudly, tail sweeping the ground in quiet satisfaction. Daniel couldn't help but smile. "You did good, partner," he murmured, rubbing the dog's neck. Rex had always been reliable, but this time he had uncovered more than evidence. He had uncovered truth. The discovery was more than just a box in a tree. It was a reminder that even the smallest signs, like a restless bark, can lead to extraordinary revelations. Sometimes, it takes instinct, loyalty, and a little persistence to unearth what the world has hidden. And that day, it was Rex who proved it. Stories like this remind us that heroes come in all forms, even four-legged ones. Rex didn't just find a mystery. He brought peace to a family and a town. If the story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More incredible true tales are coming your way soon.